There comes a moment in every man's life when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when the noise of the world fades and all that's left is the deafening sound of your own doubt. Everything you built begins to collapse, your plans, your confidence, your identity. This is what they call rock bottom. But let's be clear, rock bottom isn't just a low point, it's a crossroads, a brutal test, not of your comfort, but of your character, not of your resources, but of your resilience. It's the moment where men are either broken or reborn. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Rock bottom is not the end, it's the start of something much deeper. It's the forge where real men are made. Because the man you were before, he wasn't ready, he was too soft, too distracted, too dependent on things outside of his control. But the man you're about to become, he will be forged in hardship, tempered by failure, sharpened by silence, and refined by fire. This is the story of that transformation, the story of the man who refused to stay down, the one who fought with nothing left in the tank, who chose discipline over despair, purpose over pity, and silence, not because he was broken, but because he was building. In this video, we're going deep. We'll break down what it truly means to fall and rise again with emotional intelligence, timeless Stoic philosophy, and lessons from real historical figures who turned their deepest pain into unstoppable power. This isn't just another motivational video. This is about rebuilding your life from the ground up with intention, clarity, and strength. By the time we're done, you'll understand this one truth. You may be at your lowest point, but you are not done, and you are not alone. So if life has knocked you flat, if you're struggling in silence, if you've been overlooked, underestimated, or forgotten, this is your signal, your turning point, your call to rise. Before we begin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you've ever hit rock bottom and found your way back, drop a comment below. Your story might be the very strength another man needs to stand up again. Let's begin. 1. The fall. When the world turns its back. There comes a time in every man's life when everything you thought you were, everything you thought you could rely on begins to crumble. The world that seemed so certain, so solid, suddenly turns to dust. And in that moment, you're left staring at your reflection, wondering if the man in the mirror has any strength left at all. No one can truly prepare you for the fall. No mentor, no friend, no guidebook can explain what it feels like when your world shatters. When the woman you loved walks away, leaving a void too deep to fill. When the business you bled for fails, and all the dreams you built seem to fade into the distance. When your mind, once sharp and focused, turns on you, and you can no longer recognize yourself. This is rock bottom. It's silent, it's isolating, and it feels like it will consume you. Not because of what you lost, but because of what you're forced to face. Yourself. The fall is part of the journey. But here's something they don't tell you. Every great man has been there. Every warrior, every philosopher, every leader. The difference isn't that they didn't fall, it's that they didn't stay down. Take Marcus Aurelius, for instance. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher faced hardships that few can imagine. Despite ruling one of the most powerful empires in history, he buried 8 of his 13 children. He endured wars, plagues, betrayals, and through it all, he remained stoic. He never allowed the fall to defeat him. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is key. The fall is not failure. It's a forced awakening. It strips away the superficial, the money, the titles, the status, the relationships, and reveals your true foundation. And when that foundation cracks, you're left with 2 choices. 1, blame the world, drown in bitterness, and remain broken. 2. Accept the pain, rebuild, and come back stronger, wiser, more grounded than ever before. Most men choose the first. They numb themselves with distractions, drugs, alcohol, lust, fleeting pleasures, anything to avoid the pain of confronting their weaknesses. But the rare men, the ones who rise from the ashes, they face the darkness head-on. They understand something critical. Pain is the raw material from which power is forged. The hidden gift of the full rock bottom is not the end, it's a transformation. It removes the illusion of control, the idea that your strength comes from what you own or what you've built. It teaches you that true power doesn't come from what you possess. It comes from what you can endure. This is the first lesson of Stoicism. Control what you can. Let go of the rest. You can't control betrayal. You can't control loss. You can't control time or tragedy or the chaos of the world. But you can control how you respond. And in that response lies the true measure of your strength. Take the example of Lucius Annaeus Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers in history. Seneca was falsely accused, exiled by Emperor Claudius, stripped of his wealth, and sent into disgrace. Most men would have vanished into bitterness, consumed by anger and despair. But not Seneca. In exile, he wrote, he studied, he taught. He used the time to become wiser, sharper, more grounded than he ever was before. Seneca didn't let the fall define him, he let it refine him. He once wrote, "Sometimes, even to live is an act of courage." Understand this. When you're at rock bottom, simply getting out of bed can be an act of courage. Choosing not to quit, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. That's the quiet rebellion. That's strength. Your fall is not the end. Listen closely. The fall is not the end of your story, it is the beginning. There's a man inside you who's been buried beneath layers of pain, shame, and disappointment. But this man won't awaken in comfort. He won't be born in the light of success. He'll only rise in chaos, in pressure, in darkness. Because this is where unbreakable men are forged. The fall is the fire that burns away the weaknesses. It strips you of your illusions. It teaches you that no one is coming to save you, and that's exactly how it should be. Because when you rebuild yourself, brick by painful brick, you become a man no one can break. Here are the core lessons. Rock bottom is not failure, it is a necessary transformation. Control your response, not the situation. That's where your power lies. You are not alone. Every great man has faced this test. Pain is your teacher. Let it teach you, let it forge you. Have you ever faced a time when life knocked you down, whether emotionally, mentally, financially, or spiritually? What did it teach you? Drop your story in the comments. Your words could be the light that helps someone else rise again. 2. The silence, where strength is forged in isolation. After the fall, there's something that follows, something even more profound than the pain of losing everything. Silence. A silence so deep it resonates in your bones. It's not just the absence of sound, it's the stillness that forces you to confront what's left when everything else is gone. There are no phone calls, no praise, no cheers. No one asking how you're doing, no one reminding you of your worth. The world moves on without you when you're no longer useful to it. And in this silence, your true strength begins to grow. Most men fear isolation. They fear being alone with their thoughts, afraid that the stillness will overwhelm them. But here's the truth no one teaches you. Isolation is not your enemy. It is your crucible. Because when the distractions fade, when the noise stops, there is only one person left to face, yourself. And that is where the real battle begins. The battle to rise, to rebuild, to refocus, and to discover strength you never knew you had. Why isolation is a gift if you use it, Mike. In today's world, we're taught to fear solitude. We're told that if no one is calling your name, if you're not constantly surrounded, you're losing. The truth, that's a lie. Solitude isn't punishment, it's purification. It's in the silence that you sort through the rubble of your old life and decide what to keep and what to discard. Isolation is where the emotional noise fades and you begin to hear the one voice that truly matters, your own. The one you've been drowning out with distractions, with busyness, with everything except real self-reflection. The Stoics, those masters of the mind, understood this. Take Epictetus, for example. Born into slavery, Epictetus had nothing. Yet he became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers in history, teaching the world that no man is free who is not master of himself. And how do you master yourself? Not in the crowd, not in the noise, not in the praise. You master yourself in the silence, when no one is watching, when no one is judging, and when you are stripped down to your rawest, most authentic self. The true power doesn't come from the accolades or the applause. It comes from the quiet moments, the nights alone when you feel like giving up, but you choose to keep going. The mornings when you wake up with pain still lingering, but you rise anyway. It's in those moments that real strength is born. The myth of constant company. In our hyper-connected world, we're told to stay constantly plugged in, always socializing, always networking. But here's a secret. Greatness is not found in constant company. It is forged in solitude. Think about the most influential men in history, the ones who shaped the world. They didn't surround themselves with noise. They spent time in radical solitude. Marcus Aurelius, during the height of the Roman Empire, often wrote his meditations alone in his tent amidst the chaos of war. He didn't use isolation to escape. He used it to sharpen his mind and refine his purpose. The samurai of Japan would spend countless hours in silence, perfecting their craft, training their minds and bodies alone, believing that in silence they would become unshakable. Nelson Mandela, while imprisoned on Robben Island for 18 long years, had no physical freedom, but in his solitude he found his inner strength. He didn't break. He found vision. He found purpose. He found the kind of resilience most people will never understand. Solitude is the gym of the soul. Every hour spent in isolation, every minute spent rebuilding, recalibrating and reflecting, this is a deposit into your mental, emotional, and spiritual wealth. How to use isolation to rebuild. You might be asking, how do I use isolation for strength instead of letting it drown me? Here's how. 1. Sit with the pain. Don't run from it. Don't numb it with distractions. Let it speak. Ask, what is this pain teaching me? Where is it guiding me? 2. Start journaling, like the Stoics did. Write, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Journaling clears the mental fog and turns chaos into wisdom. It's a simple practice that clarifies your thoughts and helps you understand what's happening within. 3. Work in silence. Whether it's your body, your craft, or your goals, work quietly. Every day spent in solitude is a day your enemies will underestimate you. Every quiet effort you make is a step toward rebuilding, growing, and refining yourself. 4. Create a routine. Discipline creates identity. Wake up at the same time. Exercise. Read. Write. Work. Focus on the basics. It's in the daily routine that you rediscover your confidence and control. 5. Study the greats. In your solitude, feed your mind. Read philosophy. Study history. Let the wisdom of those who came before you sharpen your mind and prepare you for the challenges ahead. The true power of silence. Many men try to rush out of the silence, fearing they'll be forgotten. They panic at the thought of being invisible, of being left behind. But here's the reality. Real power is never loud. Think about a lion. A lion doesn't roar all day. It doesn't need to. The lion walks in silence, with strength and purpose, letting its presence speak for itself. That's the power of solitude. It's the power of the silent, steady force that rises from within. When you use the silence to rebuild, to improve, to refine, when you return to the world, you won't come back broken. You'll come back calm, collected, and dangerous. A man who's found peace in the storm and who can now face anything with unshakable strength. Have you ever gone through a season of isolation that completely changed you? What did it teach you about who you are and what you're capable of? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. You never know who might be sitting in silence right now, needing your story to show them they're not alone. 3. The rebuild, crafting the man you were meant to be. You've hit rock bottom, you've faced the silence. Now comes the most critical moment, the rebuild, because here's the truth. It's easy to lie in the wreckage, it's easy to play the victim. But the man who rises from the ashes and chooses to remake himself, that man becomes a force to be reckoned with, dangerous to his enemies, to his former self, and to any challenge that dares to stand in his path. The rebuild is not about returning to who you were before. It's about becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone untouchable. And it begins with an essential realization. No one is coming to save you, but that's not a curse. It's the most liberating truth you'll ever face. Rebuilding begins with a responsibility. When you're at rock bottom, it's tempting to blame. You want to point fingers at everything and everyone. Your past, your family, your ex, the system. The temptation is real, but as long as you're blaming, you're bleeding. Every second spent blaming others is a second you waste on your own growth. The Stoics knew something profound. Personal power doesn't come from external circumstances, it comes from within. Epictetus, who was once a slave, taught this timeless lesson. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You didn't choose the fall, but now you must choose the rebuild. And here's the secret. Rebuilding isn't a feeling. It's a decision. A quiet, disciplined, relentless decision to rise every single day, no matter how small the step. Who do you want to be? Define him, build him, become him. The man you were before the fall is gone, and that's good. Now ask yourself, who do I want to become? What kind of man walks with calm in chaos? What kind of man leads his family, commands respect, stands tall even when life is brutal? Write it down. Be specific. Don't define yourself with vague dreams like, I want to be successful. Define the traits of the man you want to be. Honor, discipline, presence, wisdom, strength, patience, control, focus. Then reverse engineer that man. Ask yourself, if he wakes up at 5 a.m., you wake up at 5. If he reads instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone, then you read. If he trains his body and mind daily, then you do the same. You don't wait to feel like that man. You become that man through consistent action. And as you align your actions with your new identity, your mind begins to rewire itself to believe you are the person you are becoming. The power of rebuilding and how it transforms you. Consider Frederick Douglass, a man born into slavery with nothing. He could have stayed broken, but instead he rebuilt himself from the ground up. He learned to read secretly, he educated himself, he escaped slavery, he became one of the greatest orators, writers, and freedom fighters in history. He wrote, "I prefer to be true to myself even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others. Douglas didn't wait for the world to free him. He freed himself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and from that freedom, he created his destiny. You must do the same. What rebuilding requires one? Discipline over motivation. Don't chase the fleeting feeling of motivation. Discipline is the key to building strength, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation fades. Discipline endures. 2. Routine and ritual. Design your days with purpose. Create a morning routine, a night routine, reading time, workout time, focused work time. Every moment must serve the man you're becoming. 3. Physical training. The body and mind are connected. When your body is weak, your mind follows. Build physical strength, not for vanity, but for discipline, clarity, and control. 4. Mental fortitude. Read deeply. Study philosophy. Journal each night. Reflect on your actions. Ask, where did I fall short today? Where can I be better tomorrow? 5. Spiritual stillness. Whether through belief in God, nature, or the pursuit of inner peace, learn the power of stillness. Walk in silence. Meditate. Be at peace with solitude, for you must lead yourself before you can lead others. 6. Emotional mastery. You are not your feelings. You have feelings, but you master them. Don't let your emotions control you. Observe them, channel them, but never let them lead you. A man who can't control his emotions is always a slave to them. The power of becoming unrecognizable. The most dangerous man isn't the loudest in the room. It's the man who disappeared for a while. He spent time in silence, focused, working, and came back unrecognizable. Sharper, quieter, more focused, and more deliberate. Less emotional, but stronger than ever. If you want revenge on your past, don't argue, don't post, don't beg, rebuild. Let your transformation be your answer. Let your discipline be your declaration. Let the world witness your rise and wonder how they ever doubted you. The power of consistency. Rebuilding is not optional. It is your duty as a man. 1. Start by taking full responsibility for where you are. 2. Define your new identity. Become the man you want to be. 3. Model yourself on those who rose from nothing. Douglas, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius. 4. Focus on daily, repeatable action. Consistency is the foundation of character. 5. Use your pain as your blueprint. Let every scar, every hardship be a source of structure for your new self. If you could describe the man you're becoming in 5 words, what would they be? Drop them in the comments below. Define him. Speak him into existence. The world needs to know who you're becoming. You need to know. 4. The return. Rise with fire in your eyes. There comes a day after the fall, after the silence, after the rebuild. When you walk back into the world, but you're not the same man, you don't speak the same, you don't move the same, you don't seek validation anymore, you don't chase what doesn't honor you. You've buried the boy, and now the man has returned. But this return, it's not dramatic, it's not loud. There are no applause, no red carpet, no one waiting for you to cross the finish line. And that's what makes it powerful. Because the world never expected you to come back. They thought the pain would break you. They thought the silence would crush your spirit. They thought the fall would be your grave. But you didn't stay there. You rose quietly, ruthlessly, with fire in your eyes and steel in your soul. The return of the Stoic man. The Stoics never sought the approval of others. They didn't fight for fame, for attention, or to be celebrated. They fought to become complete within themselves. Marcus Aurelius, after every battle, came back wiser, quieter, and less concerned with the praise or scorn of the world. He knew the true reward wasn't wealth or accolades, it was who he had become in the process. Now you understand this truth. Your return isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You didn't rise for applause. You didn't heal for recognition. You came back because the world needs a man like you, strong, grounded, and immovable. Your aura has transformed. You don't have to say much. People can feel it. Your presence now speaks louder than your words ever could. You're no longer emotional. You're composed. You're not reactive. You're surgical. You're not desperate. You're directed. You've become a man who moves with purpose. When you walk into any room, you don't need to say a word to command respect. Why? Because pain has polished you. Silence has sharpened you. Discipline has rebuilt you. You've become what most men fear and most women respect. A man who has stared death in the face and didn't flinch. Life doesn't get easier, but you've changed. Let's be real. Life will continue to test you. There will be more storms, more loss, more betrayal. But now, you're not the same man who used to break under pressure. Now you don't panic when the storm hits. You become the storm. This is what Stoicism teaches at its core. Don't wish for an easier life. Become a stronger man. You've become anti-fragile. Hardship doesn't break you, it builds you. Loneliness doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. Loss doesn't destroy you, it sharpens your focus. From survivor to leader, now that you've risen, your final responsibility has arrived. Lead, but not through noise, not through pride. Lead through your example. Men around you need your strength. The younger version of yourself still exists in someone else, lost, broken, afraid, falling. Be the man you needed back then. Stand tall when others crumble. Speak truth when others lie. Walk away from anything that disrespects your soul. You are no longer here to be liked. You're here to lead, to protect, to build, to conquer. Your silence has become your strength. Your fall has become your foundation. And your scars? They're no longer wounds, they're armor. The power of your return. You've returned. You've risen. Now ask yourself, who needs the man you've become? Drop a comment below and tell the world that you're back, stronger, wiser, unbreakable. Your journey, your story, your strength might be the spark someone needs to rise from their own fall. If this message resonates with you, if you've fallen, fought, and risen, like this video. Share it with a brother who needs to hear this. Subscribe for more content that speaks to the warrior inside of you. And most importantly, tell your story. Tell the world who you are now. Someone, somewhere, is still in the fall, and your voice could be the reason they choose to rise.